Guys, tonight, game we've been waiting for, Browns and Bengals. We know that for the Browns, David Njoku will not play. We know Denzel Ward will not play. We know Wyatt Teller will not play. For the Bengals, Jamar Chase will not play. Have we seen any update in the last 15 minutes on JOK?
Nothing, but he hasn't practiced all weekend.
Yeah.
Oh,
I would guess, based on
sign.
that, he's probably
Not a good
not
sign.
going to play.
Yeah, listen, the Browns' defense, as we all know, has been horrendous this season. And now they've lost their best corner and potentially their best linebacker. Now, I know neither of those guys has played that well, but I still think they're their best player. Well, they've already lost their best linebacker in Anthony Walker. Now their second best linebacker. Is the only hope for the defense, G, and I'll start with you, Myles Garrett having one of those all-time games like we saw from what's his name at Ohio State? I can't think of his name.
Yeah.
JTT, baby, JTT.
Oh, my God, what a game that guy had.
He made a lot of money.
Oh, my God.
Made a lot of money.
Like, does Myles Garrett, I know it's the NFL, but does Myles Garrett have to have that type of game for the Browns to win tonight?
I don't think – I'm not going to say I don't think he's capable of it, but if you look at what the roster is, I mean, they could just double – they could take him out of the game. Like, it's not like – you know, with a defensive line, it's not as if you're roaming around. You could do other things. Like, you could get double teamed. They could slide the protection that way. They could send the back over there. They could leave a tight end in. There could be three people that could block you, and they still would not have to worry about anybody in the interior. Now JOK, who's one of your, better blitzing linebackers, he's not in. And then, Anthony Walker is not in the middle. So basically, it's not like he really can take over if he wants. It's just the fact that you can scheme him out of the game. For me, this is a game where the Browns are going to have to do something other teams have done. You traditionally look across the league and look at some of these teams who are winning games that have not been good or traditionally good. They're going to have to find a way to make the plays. You look at Seattle and both New York teams, nobody thought those teams would be good. But you know what they're doing? They're coming out and they're making plays when it counts, in the crunch time, and they're getting stuff from their main guys. So, I look at it in terms of you're going to have a great game by Myles Garrett. You're going to have a great game by Joe Woods. Stefanski has to call a really good game. And then you're going to have Nick Chubb and Mari Cooper, some of your best people, play out of their minds. You may win. You should be competitive if you're at home. But, they're going to have to start doing stuff that all these other teams are doing. Because I watched them on Sunday, and a lot of teams aren't really that good. But what they're doing is they're making plays when you got to make the plays.
That's true. The Jets and Giants did both lose yesterday.
Yes.
And the Jets, man, Zach Wilson stinks. But, Jason, what say you? Do you have any hope for this Browns defense tonight?
Yeah, I mean, listen,
Beyond it's just football, so you never know.
well, that's a lot of it.
Yeah.
And we'll see when we get to the headlines. I just don't think that this is a 2-6 team. Like, there's too much talent to be 2-6. And at some point, somebody's got to put their foot in the ground and say, enough's enough. We're not going to keep going down this road. And, it seems like a lifetime ago when we had the little dust-up in the locker room in Baltimore. Well, this is the first chance on the field since then. And it was defensive guys involved, and it was defensive guys yelling in the locker room about no leadership. So now it's time for you guys to lead. And so I absolutely think they got a chance to win this game. They can be competitive in this game. The secondary is going to have to play great, even without Jamar Chase. With the linebackers that you're missing, they're going to be in a lot of nickel and dime. And you really need guys like Grant Delpit, who has not had a good year at all and who I really am starting to question his future here. Guys like him have to deliver tonight.
Brad, Myles Garrett did some talking before this game, talked about we need to bury Joe Burrow. You like him talking trash? You think he's going to be able to back it up?
Well, first of all, Myles Garrett is an extremely talented player. I think he has the ability to do just that if we use him in the correct manner. I look at this thing and we line Myles Garrett on the end, right? And we're soft in the middle, and I hear the professionals, the ones that live in the football world, like, okay, you can do other things. Move Myles Garrett around. Keep him guessing. Micah Parsons guessing. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to let you tee up on me, right? My thing is this here. I kind of disagree with Jason to this point here. You're 2-6. You are a 2-6 team. That's who you are, right?
Yep.
Well, they're 2-5 right now.
Well, 2-5. Yeah. You have a chance.
That's what I'm saying.
You got a chance to get better, right? But only if we do things to counteract what we don't do well. And every week, we come out here and we go back and do the same damn dumb thing again, right? And I wonder why Why is Kareem Hunt and Chubb not in the backfield together? Why are we throwing the ball with Jacoby Brissett 40 times? Why, the same thing that we always seem to do, always seem to trip us up all the time. I'm hopeful that tonight, right? Because you got a chance down the lakefront here. Miles talking crazy, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they're going to come to play. We're going to see. Because Joe Burrow is quite aware that he's never beat the Browns. Very well aware. His daddy's aware, right? So I have to think that Joe Burrow thinks he knows I'm coming to get this today. The only way you meet that is head on. So if I'm going to meet you at the coin flip, midfield, and tell you, come see you in just about 1 minute.
Do you think? I don't even think they got that type of mentality.
That's the problem.
When you just said that, I said that's so out of character.
That's the thing, like, okay, so they're yelling and screaming in the locker room, but when have they showed this year at least that that's going to turn into a fight?
Well, that's what I'm saying. This is the first time that we have been able to hear some sort of pushback.
The fact that all of a sudden in week 8 it's going to turn into something, I'm skeptical.
Well, it did last year. After the Patriots game last year, it completely flipped. This defense Now, that's not to excuse. I think we've said it before. You can't be terrible defensively for half a season every year.
Right.
But we have proof that it can flip that fast because it did.
You know what's so crazy, Bull? I'd never write anything down. But yesterday I was up last night, not sleeping like I always do, and I'm just writing stuff down, and I'm looking at it and I'm saying, hold on, let me check out some of these other teams and what they're doing with not good quarterbacks, right? Backups or guys that we know are marginal or medium. Okay. Titans 5-2 with Ryan Tannehill.
Oh, you got notes.
Oh, yeah, I got notes.
Oh, okay.
And yesterday with Malik Willis.
Yeah, Malik Willis.
Derrick Henry had like 300 yards.
They just put another dude in, right? Jets 5-3 with Zach Wilson and Joe Flacco.
Yep.
Giants now 6-2 with Daniel Jones.
Yep.
Jones is getting paid. They're going to pay him.
I don't think so.
I watched that whole game yesterday, Jason. I've watched a lot of
I don't think
Giants
Daniel
this
Jones is good.
Well, what
he can run the ball. He cannot throw the ball. Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to turn this into a Giants show, but they're going to at least have to franchise tag him,
I would think. But we'll see.
Well,
you're probably right, though.
We'll continue on. Seahawks 5-3 with Geno Smith.
Yes.
Falcons 4-4 with Marcus Mariota. Commanders are 4-4 with Wentz. Patriots
and Taylor Heineke.
Yeah. Patriots are 4-4 with Jones and Zappy.
Yeah.
Bears 3-5.
Holla at my man Justin Fields.
With Justin Fields.
On the rise and coming.
Think about this.
And coming.
Now they tell us all the time.
And by the way, the Cowboys have won a ton of games, mostly with what's his name, Cooper Rush.
Yes, they won a bunch of those games. And I left off 3 or 4 teams. The Dolphins 5-3. I could have put them in there. But my point is, these are all teams that are playing with subpar quarterback play. However, they are 2, sometimes 3 games ahead of your Cleveland Browns when you have all these other pieces and parts and different things. And I question, I say, at what point are you held responsible for saying, look, you got your defense mostly back. These guys have injuries. Look, these dudes ain't no good.
But you could be making a point that the Browns are like, because I'm just going to flip your script just a slight bit. If you took Justin Fields, put him on the Cleveland Browns, they'd be dynamic.
I don't know.
So maybe,
no, they wouldn't.
Yes, they would. Yes, they would, because
They'd be 2-5.
No, he can make plays. That's where you're mistaken at. He's a freaking player, right? This isn't me just watching him. I watched him for years. He's a freaking player. So stop reading what you read in the paper. Stop believing what you hear in video. Get down to the brass tacks for people who watch this
I
thing.
disagree with you. I've watched Justin Fields play. I don't think he's any good. But
he's a freaking player.
Yeah, but they got Deshaun Watson. That's it.
No, so I'm saying when they get Deshaun Watson back,
right?
Because they could be banking on that to be the separator.
But again, we could talk about the offense all we want, guys. The Browns are 2-5 mostly because of their defense. That's the bottom line. We could say, if Deshaun Watson were here, they'd have a better record because he can overcome more mistakes from the defense than Jacoby Brissett can. But the main reason why the Browns are 2-5 is because their defense is awful.
Yeah, but
it's awful.
Yeah, there's no question about that. But I would just tell you that most teams in this league are fueled by their offense, even when on the defensive side. To see that the offensive side making big time plays, that's what gets the place energized, right?
But my question,
most of those teams are winning because of defense.
Even if I took the Bears off here, right?
Right.
Okay.
And so that's Justin Fields.
Yeah.
All the rest of these quarterbacks are bad.
Well,
I don't know about Geno Smith, man. Geno's
playing very well.
He lightened it up.
Now, The Seahawks are the
traditionally-
The Seahawks are the one team on that list where you can say the quarterback's playing well.
Yeah.
Geno is. I don't think Geno. I think Geno's kind of mediocre.
Your boy Dustin
at best.
Fox is.
Dustin loved him. I give him full credit. The rest of those teams, the Giants, the Jets, I don't know about the Patriots. Those three teams are winning because of defense.
Well, I think the Titans are probably the closest example to what.
There it is.
To what you could have here because the power running.
Now,
game,
Ryan Tannehill's better than Jacoby Brissett, but he's not that good.
not by much.
Not
Not by
he's better.
much.
Come
It's,
on,
it's
he's
kind
better.
It's what I mean is.
Well, actually, this year Jacoby's probably played just as well. If not
It's a
better.
little. It's comparable.
Defense.
In terms of the quarterback play here, my thing is, if you're Stefanski, you have to say, "Come on, man, we got better. We got. This is a team that gave up Russell Wilson. They were supposed to be out. The Giants was like, oh, listen, Daniel Jones.
The Giants were trying to tank this year.
Trying.
The Giants went into this year with the expectation of drafting first or second to get C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young.
Right.
That was their expectation heading into the season.
Now, it's not completely apples to apples.
There's a
those
lot of
teams have
games
played
left.
some bad. I don't know how many quality wins those teams have, but still, they have better records.
Well, the Browns got an opportunity.
Browns have no quality wins.
I haven't seen. Well, I argue I haven't seen a quality win in like 3-4 years. Like I could say that. But
They're the only win the last 2 years they've had is a quality wins against the Bengals.
Yep.
The first Bengal game.
the first
last year
Bengals
was a quality
game.
win.
Now I will say this: they got an opportunity. Jamar Chase ain't playing. You should be all over that. You should be excited because that dude is a one-play Johnny. Bomb, boom, touchdown, 7 points. Now you get T. Higgins. You get Tyler Boyd. You still got Joe Mixon. I'm a little scared that they might just run Mixon, which we can't stop. Don't tell nobody yet. But they got an opportunity. If you can win this game, and I just don't even like saying it. If you can win this game, you now get to, what, 3 and
5.
3 and 5. 3 and 5. You get a bye week. You can figure some stuff out. You come back against the Dolphins. That's in Miami. I'm a little scared of that because they just, all those two receivers, we ain't got nobody to run the passes them. So the bottom line is if you got to get this one first, you can make yourself feel okay going into the bye.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think, if the Browns win tonight, we're going to feel different about this team. I still don't think they're going to make the playoffs if they win tonight.
No.
But at least there's a remote chance if they win this game tonight. And you'll just feel better because then all these teams you're talking about, well, some of them are 3 and 5 and some of them are 4 and 4. I get it. But to do that, the defense is going to have to play better. Jamar Chase is a big loss for the Bengals, but they still have a top 5 quarterback and 2 really good receivers and an excellent running back and a very good, good solid tight end. So obviously they're not as good without Chase, or at least we think they won't be, but they're still good. So it's still going to be a tough challenge for the Browns defense.
Remember, we all sat up here and we took the poll.
Yeah.
What do they have to be when Deshaun Watson gets back? A lot of people either said 5 and 6, 6 and 5, right?
Right.
So if you beat them, you got what other games after that you got coming up? You got
You're not beating Buffalo.
So Buffalo's
Miami,
out of
Buffalo,
here.
and
It's the
Tampa.
NFL, you still never know.
Miami, Buffalo, and Tampa.
So you got Miami.
Don't even get off the bus in Buffalo.
Yeah.
I'm with Mikey.
Miami, Buffalo, and Tampa.
Right.
Now, Miami looks really good. I mean, their passing game with these deep balls with Waddle and
Miami's a likely loss. Buffalo's an almost definitely loss. Tampa Bay's a toss-up.
You could beat Tampa Bay, right? You could beat Tampa Bay. They got to get to 5 wins.
I don't see them getting to 5. I think if they win tonight, they got a shot at being 4 and 7, with the absolute best case scenario being 5 and 6, but not likely. There's no way they're getting to 6 and 5. That ain't happening.
If they did that, that'd be the greatest upset.
They're 6 and 5.
Yeah.
And if they are 6 and 5, well, then they got a chance to make the playoffs because, frankly, their final 6 games,
Are not
4
that
of
tough.
those games are against crappy teams, and you'll have Deshaun Watson. So
And especially the way I give him, we played the Ravens, and the Ravens to me ain't no like game busters. The Ravens are average team.
Should've won that game.
They should have won that game.
the only teams that look great right now are Kansas City, Buffalo, and Philadelphia.
Philly.
Nobody else looks great. There's some other good teams, but those are the only teams that look really, really good.
Philadelphia and Buffalo.
They just destroyed the Steelers.
Hey, Bull.
Yeah.
You asked Brad the question, and we pivoted off it, but I want your take on this because you brought it up in the pre-show meeting.
Yeah.
Myles Garrett is talking a lot of smack heading into this game, saying he's going to bury players. In the past, he's done post-game interviews on Halloween in a cape.
Yeah, like Myles Garrett's got his two. Honestly,
Does he have to back up his play? Is today really not a
I got to
legacy
be honest,
game for him,
guys.
but-
I hate
Grown
when
man
people
with a
say
kid.
I got to be honest, and I just said it. Here's the thing. I love Myles Garrett. He's my second favorite player on the team behind Nick Chubb. Okay, I've always supported him. I always thought he was great. I still think, even though the production has not been there, I still think he's playing at a high level right now. But I'll tell you something. Right now, at 2-5, this is embarrassing. It's embarrassing the tombstones on his lawn, and I'm fine with the trash talk. But I don't want to hear about triple teams. If you are going to talk trash about burying a player, then you got to back it up. I don't care if you're getting quintuple teamed. I don't care. He better make, I don't even know how much that is. I think it's 5, but I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
it's 5.
He better make some freaking plays tonight. If you're going to talk the talk, you better walk the walk. I don't want to hear about double teams. I don't want to hear about triple teams. Get it done.
And I also don't want to hear about, oh, Myles is impacting games because 2 guys are blocking him and he's opening. No. How many guys in this league can still wreck a game by getting through double teams?
You got it. You're not going to be able to do it as often
Yeah,
if you're
not-
getting double
not
and triple
here.
teams. I get it. But he's
Sometimes
still
it
got to
only-
make
it's
some
only-
plays.
Sometimes it's only 1 or 2 plays you have to make.
That's
to turn the
right.
game.
If you're getting double teamed, let's be clear. If you're getting double teamed, I mean, those significant hurdles.
Of
right?
course. It is,
Instead of-
Brad, but it's not an excuse for no
I'm
production.
How many guys get
I'm saying
doubled
it's not
on-
making an
and
excuse
how many
here.
guys
Here's
get
the
doubled
problem.
on every single play?
See, if you're going to come down on Myles Garrett, come down on the nut running the team. I'm sick of him too, right? I'm sick of him too, right? I'm coming here every week talking about the same stuff. We don't never hold his feet to the fire, ever.
Yeah, we do.
Ever. No,
Everybody
we
does.
don't.
Yeah, we do.
No, we don't.
But how are we supposed to hold him to the fire? We want to be. Besides saying fire him, how old?
Bull, you from New York. I live
Yeah.
in Chicago.
Yeah.
They turn the heat up on you anytime they want
Yes.
to. Yes, they do.
And
In this
the
town-
fans
in this
deserve to
town-
have some heat
in
on
this
him.
town, we don't turn the heat up on nobody.
We do. I've been
No, we
screaming for
don't.
coaches to be fired for
Nah,
12 years here.
Not real heat. It ain't real heat.
But I just don't.
We have to literally set him on fire to make Just set the man on fire.
Well,
Come to
here,
Chicago with me, I get you
To
some real
me,
heat.
I get it. I know some people are going to disagree. I can't blame. To me, Joe Woods is responsible for the defense.
Yes.
He's the head coach of the defense.
Yes.
That's the way it works in this NFL. Is you have a coach who runs his side of the ball. That's what 95% of the NFL coaches do.
As what was his boy supposed to do? Because he's not running his side of the ball.
'Cause the defense
we're
is
not
garbage.
We're not getting better. We're getting worse.
We are.
You know,
They are.
You know what? I've been trying to get Joe Woods out of here since 2019. Ironically, that might have been a year he got here. I'm a little early to the party. They're like, G. Bush, you an hour early. So what? I got my outfit on. Leave me alone. I wanted him up out of here then. I was mad back then. But I'll play devil's advocate.
Play it.
I mean, Andrew Berry, man, out of anybody, he gets the biggest passes to me. Like
He does get a big pass.
Don't nobody even mention his name. For you to come into a season with these levels of defensive tackles and linebackers, that means you watched Phillips practice and play for a year. You thought that was it? You seen Jordan Elliott for 3 years. You thought he was a Tommy Togiai. Like these guys, and then you got to get to this. You said Grant Delpit, to me, is if you go into next year, he's looking so. You need somebody to replace him. To me, John Johnson,
I got to replace him too.
you might have the worst safety. The secondary, we thought the secondary was locked down.
Yep.
Not only are they not locked down, they don't even do anything really well. They
locked
don't
up.
communicate.
They locked up.
They don't tackle.
They got those checks locked down.
Yeah, they got them. They got the bag locked up, but they not jumping no routes. They not dislodging the football. They ain't laying no wood on nobody. They not knocking the ball. They not even getting people lined up straight. I don't know what y'all do.
The Browns are not talented enough at safety. I think we're learning that.
But
they're not talented enough at defensive tackle. They have no talent at defensive tackle.
Linebacker.
To me, at linebacker, and definitely at corner, it's more about coaching than it is about talent, I think. I think a good defensive coordinator can find a way to use JOK, and we haven't been able to do it.
Here's the thing. I agree with everything you said. But let's also acknowledge they were better at Baltimore defensively. They came up with the turnover late in the game. They got the ball back.
Yeah.
They showed signs of improvement.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, when you say improvement, that's so ambiguous.
Well, they kept Lamar Jackson in
Are we
check.
coming from a 2 to a 3?
Well, yeah, that's
a
what I'm
4
saying.
to a 5?
I mean, they're not going to go from a 2 to a 10
A
overnight.
4 to a 7.
But they're not going to go from a 2 to 10 overnight. What we saw last year was after the Patriots game, after they completely fell apart, they got better every week. By the end of the year, they were a pretty good defense.
Yeah.
Last week showed me sort of what we were expecting to see all
Right.
year long. They have to get
But
better.
the Ravens are a team that can't really
Come
throw
on,
the ball.
And the Ravens, before the turnover, it was 1st and 10, 2nd and 6, 3rd and 2. 1st and 10, 2nd and 6, 3rd and 2.
Right.
So they were still moving down the field. But you have to give them credit for getting the stop and
Yes.
getting the turnover.
Okay,
well, Yes.
So they showed signs last week. Let's see if tonight if they can build off that. That's all.
All right, Mikey, we got Tim Couch with us.